for the most part.
Right.
And it really helped them on that end of the floor stay in the series, because without his defense on Trae Young, if you let Trae just get loose, well, you know and I know, they might have gotten run off the court before the Game 7.
But let me ask you a question, Skip. He averaged 9 points a game, 6 and 6.
Yep.
What if he just gives you what he gave you in the regular season?
Okay.
He gave you 14, 7, and 7. You win this series, Skip.
Okay, so now we get back to, is it fixable? Well, this is not physical. This is mental to me. So,
which is harder.
Okay.
Skip, you know that's harder, Skip.
But when I look at body of work, when I look at what he's already, I'm not talking about some college kid that I'm trying to project into the NBA.
Right.
I'm talking about a rookie of the year and a 3-time All-Star and 2-time first team All-Defense. First team.
Right.
We're talking about a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, at least. And because of that, now we get into sports psychology or psychiatry.
Yeah.
To me, that's the answer. And Doc was a little circumspect about, without going into detail. Well, I think the detail is they need to get him some help.
Right.
Seriously.
Right.
Where you work through this in the offseason. And again, a great shot doctor would help, like Chip England. He's a Spurs assistant, but he's fixed a lot of shots. Go ask Chip England what he did for Kawhi Leonard, because Kawhi Leonard came in this league without a shot.
Right.
And now he's got a pretty deadly mid-range jump shot because he got taught it. And he was willing to put in the work in the gym, like real work. And Doc was saying it has to be the right work. Well, surely they have enough money in Philadelphia that Josh Harris, the owner, can say, hey, let's go get that guy, because you need a doctor, a shot doctor, and you need a real doctor.
Skip, you follow baseball. You're a baseball guy. You cover the game.
Unfortunately, I followed a game last night involving my Vanderbilt Commodores. Way to go, hang in there. But
Leiter son was unbelievable.
Huh? He was unbelievable, except for one pitch to Terrell Tatum, who just jacked it about 450 feet, and it was 1-0. That was it.
Was it physical or mental with Steve Sachs that he couldn't throw the ball from me to you?
Obviously, completely, utterly psychological.
Chuck Knobloch.
The same deal. Steve Blass, before your time, a pitcher for the Pirates. He went from World Series hero to I can't throw a strike. I don't know why.
David Duval.
Same issue.
Engel.
We can go.
Rick Ankiel. Skip, remember
There's another one. Couldn't throw. Couldn't even. He couldn't even hit the catcher.
Yes.
He was throwing it over the catcher's head consistently.
So it wasn't physical with those guys. It got between his ears. And you say, Skip, we've gone in for the last 5 off seasons saying Ben Simmons going to get in the gym, he's going to work on that jump shot, and he's going to come back new and improved. And every year we've come back, if you're a Philadelphia fan or you're rooting for Ben Simmons, we've come back and he's been disappointed.
But on February 15th, about 4 months ago, he made 12 out of 13 free throws at Utah.
Yes.
Because he was angry and he said, watch this.
And this
you can't tell me he doesn't have the capability, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Skip, if you think about it, he made 12 free throws in 7 games out of like 80 attempts. So that's where it's gone.
Okay, but you can fix that if you get the right person at the right time with the right guy. And again, I like him when I watch him. And by the way, I thought it was huge. He came to the post-game interview. Like a lot of guys would shrink from that. They'd say, there's no way. And he owned it. He'd have made a bad situation worse by running out on his obligation to speak to the media after the game. But he showed, right?
He showed up.
And he faced up,
didn't
he? And he said, I just wasn't there on offense. Well, I don't know how much you're right.
Skip, I ain't trying to hear that now.
Okay. Okay, but it shows you he's owning the problem to the point that is he ready to own it through the whole offseason?
Okay, Skip, you say he's fixable. Is he fixable to the point he'll be what you thought he would be? Magic LeBron type.
Well, I never said that.
But Skip, that was it. Skip, I mean, think about what he is. He's 6'10". Magic 6'9".
They list him at 11.
6'11". Right. So and he handled the point. So natural, the comparison is Magic, LeBron, because those are the tall guys. A Penny Hardaway.
Okay, but I never. He's a very good passer, but he's not LeBron's league. LeBron is gifted beyond. Like, he's still the best passer in basketball, and I don't see that creativity from Ben.
And think about this, Skip. Both of the guys that we're talking about, Magic and LeBron, came in, didn't have a great jump shot, but they worked their tails off, and it improved.
I would agree.
Skip,
Well, especially Magic, he didn't have a shot at all.
He had a little push. It is there. He developed a little push shot.
He did. But I'm saying when he came in, LeBron had something when he came in.
But what was the one thing that those two guys had that Ben doesn't have? They had courage. They were unafraid to shoot the shot.
Okay.
He's gotten afraid to shoot the shot, Skip. So how do I improve you? Skip, it's kind of hard to be Skip, it's kind of hard to be a veterinarian if you're afraid of animals. It's kind of hard to be a doctor if you're afraid of blood.
Yeah. I'll give you this on LeBron, because I'll never forget Greg Popovich standing during 2013 finals, waving at Danny Green. Get off it.
Right.
So it's almost the equivalent of hack a Ben.
Right.
It's saying, just let him shoot. Just let him shoot those. Don't just play him to drive.
Right.
Because I know for a fact, because I was plugged into those teams, their golden rule was no dunks. Because especially on the road, and when they played them in 07, obviously it was at Cleveland, and then here we go again with the Heat. But the golden rule was, especially when you're on his home court, don't let him get to the rim, because if he dunks it, it just ignites the building and the roof flies off.
I give you a prime example, Skip. Look at Giannis.
Okay.
Giannis is not afraid to shoot. Hell, we think Giannis should stop shooting so much from the three-point line and outside, Skip, and get to the basket. He's improving, but he's unafraid to shoot. Until Ben Simmons.
There are actually a lot of similarities between Giannis and Ben Simmons, a whole lot. And I think in pure height, I think they're about the same height, except Giannis is longer and probably stronger.
Yeah, I think Giannis is probably more athletic also than Ben.
I'll buy that.
But that's the thing, Skip. I think the thing is that we're going to have to readjust our ceiling of what we think Ben Simmons can be. I think he's going to be more in line with a Draymond. I believe he can be a Draymond Green. And you mentioned the big games that he's had, the 31 points in the playoff game, the 42 points. What was absent? Joel Embiid. Well, if Joel Embiid is on the block, you can't have Ben Simmons on the block. Joel Embiid needs somebody that can play outside, that can space. So when they double down on him, he kicked the ball out. If he kicks the ball out to Ben Simmons, what's Ben Simmons going to do? Come kick it right back down to him. They double him again, he kicks it back out to Ben. What's Ben going to do? Throw it around the block?
Okay, so for me, I get everything you're saying, but my step back perspective is the little alarm bell is ringing in the back of my mind about, wait a second, we're talking about one of the best young assets you could have in basketball, and everybody's saying, get him out of here. Really? Get this?
Yeah.
This is a huge talent that he has. And he's got a nice stroke, left-handed. The stroke from the free throw line is not broken. Giannis's is crazy, and Giannis's dribble, he's taking 12 seconds at a time.
Well, he's practicing shooting before he even gets the ball.
I get it, and I don't know why the refs even let him. It's time to go. Let's just give him the basketball. Don't wait until he rehearses a couple.
And then I watched James Harden the other and then he's on the line, and the ref is waiting for him, and James was like, oh, man, come on.
Yeah, come on. Well, I can argue his free throws are more broken than Ben's are.
Right.
But Ben's got the demons.
Yes.
And the only way to get rid of them is through a sports psychologist. You could shoot 1,000, and you've made this point a million times. You could go to the gym right now and make 100 in a row, and it doesn't matter if somebody's going to hack a Ben you. Right. Because he's such a proud kid to me that the shame of it, they have singled you out to put you on the free throw line. Washington started it, and Atlanta finished it. Right. And the deeper we got into the Atlanta series, the worse it got, to where he was so ashamed that he said, well, I don't even deserve to have the basketball then. I'm not even going to do the dunk. You know,
Skip, even in the playoffs, the hacker, Shaq was making 60% of them.
He would.
Skip, this dude is 33%.
And it started with Dwight, and Dwight would make maybe half of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even, Skip, okay, give him 50%, they win the series. If he makes 50% of his free throws, they win the series.
Well, actually, against Atlanta in the fourth quarter, he was 9 of 20, so he was almost 50% in the fourth quarter. Right. Well, but as we got deeper in, it just didn't matter because he wouldn't even try anymore.
Right. And so now we're playing 5-on-4. We get an opportunity, the guys right there point blank. Dunk the ball. Skip, he's 6'11". Okay, dunk. Skip, that's Trae Young. Do you realize that's 5'11" Trae Young? You're supposed to dunk on his head. I've seen Ben Simmons dunk on bigger guys than Trae Young. You pass it up to Thibault for a cutting back to the basket, and you right there? Nah, Skip. But, Skip, I'm not saying cut the guy. I'm not saying put the guy down in the G League. I'm saying maybe if he goes to a different place, his mind. How do you go back, Skip? How do you go back in the locker room? What you think, Skip? You heard what Joel Embiid said. Skip, that's the thing. You got to be careful. Words spoken, deeds done. Because how do you unravel that? I believe the turning point in the ball game, we had a layup. We make one.
Okay, that's the guy who said that, who had 8 turnovers, including a late one, thanks to Gallinari, that ended the game.
Now, he's not without blame now, because he had a couple of games where he had 8 turnovers.
Yep.
So he's not without blame, Skip, but he is.
I'll give you this. They never seem to vibe off each other. It comes across that they coexist without actually liking each other. Like they seem to have no connection whatsoever.
Yeah, Skip, they ask him, Joel, you want to run it back? We'll have to see. Yeah, we want to run it back. We got a few teaks here and there, But like I said, Skip, you're right. They don't mesh like Magic and Kareem, like Kobe and Shaq, like Duncan and Parker, like Kuzma and Russell, like Penny and Shaq.
Okay, I got it. But all that said, they still had the best record in the East. If you told me they missed the playoffs this year, I'd be completely all in. You got to get rid of them.
But Skip, that's the problem, is that they keep these going out. Since that run that they had against Toronto, Skip, where they lost the Game 7 on Kawhi's shot, Skip, they haven't come close back. I mean, you can't lose to Atlanta. You can't.
Okay, you always correct me about Joel. I'm his biggest fan. He's always hurt or sick, or sick or hurt, or hurt or sick.
Yes.
It's always something with him, so it's hard if you can't trust his